Have you ever wondered why so many spiritual traditions, from the oldest to the most occult, place such a high value on celibacy? What did the ancient masters know that seems to have been lost in the hubbub of modernity? There is, without a doubt, a hidden power in the conservation of sexual energy, an ancient secret hidden from most. This is not just religious abstinence. It is a conscious and transformative practice, used by mystical yogis and initiates throughout history as a true shortcut to higher states of consciousness and connection to the divine. If you feel there is something in your life, energy that has not yet been fully understood, if you perceive that your body holds latent spiritual keys, this video is for you. You are about to enter a forgotten, yet profoundly powerful field of wisdom, and what will be revealed to you here could forever transform your perception of sexual energy and your divine potential. I have experienced it, and I affirm it with conviction. I am awakening the power of my life force. If you too feel this calling, declare in the comments, "I awaken my power," and join this journey of transformation. Celibacy is not a new concept. Evidence of its practice as a path to soul awakening can be found in the earliest civilizations, from Vedic India to ancient Egypt. In Tantric yoga and Taoism, for example, sexual energy is considered the most powerful form of universal life force. When not wasted, this energy can be transmuted, redirected, and used to activate the higher centers of being, thus awakening the latent spiritual faculties within each of us. In esoteric Christian traditions, Jesus mentions eunuchs who converted for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. These men consciously chose abstinence as a means of spiritual elevation. St. Paul also writes that celibacy allows for a deeper devotion to the divine. In Sufism, practitioners engaged in periods of celibacy during intense retreats of purification and inner expansion. In Jewish Kabbalah, sexual energy is considered the creative spark of God in its purest expression. In shamanic traditions, sexual abstinence before rituals was common, as it was believed that the accumulated energy amplified the power of vision and connection with unseen worlds. What do all these traditions have in common? The profound recognition that sexual energy is not limited to pleasure or procreation. It is, in fact, a reflection of God's creative force on the human level. Yogananda asserted that sexual energy is a manifestation of divine intelligence. In yoga, it is called Kundalini. In Taoism, Jing. In the ancient Egyptian tradition of Sekhem, and in the Christian esoteric tradition, it is the Holy Spirit itself. This energy is described as a serpent lying dormant at the base of the spine. When awakened through spiritual practices such as celibacy, it spirals upward, activating and purifying every chakra, every center of consciousness. Ancient tantric texts reveal that a single drop of seminal fluid contains leaves, a subtle and powerful substance that nourishes the brain, strengthens the nervous system, and serves as spiritual fuel. In Taoism, the frequent loss of this essence is believed to deplete the life force, but when preserved, it promotes longevity, vitality, clarity, and enlightenment. Even modern science is beginning to echo what the ancients already knew. Studies show that periods of sexual abstinence increase testosterone levels, promote focus, energy, and mental clarity. But true spiritual celibacy goes beyond physical abstinence. It involves the purification of thoughts, the conscious transmutation of desires, and the redirection of energy toward higher goals. It is a practice of deep presence, inner mastery, and connection to the sacred. Its effects are extraordinary. First, profound mental clarity. Practitioners experience a dissipation of mental confusion, increased concentration, sharp memory, and lucid thinking. Second, a significant increase in life energy. The preserved creative force becomes a spiritual fuel for meditation, prayer, healing, and conscious manifestation. Third, the awakening of intuition. As the higher centers are activated, subtle perceptions flourish, and intuition becomes a real and present guide. Fourth, a powerful emotional balance. Anxiety diminishes, inner peace sets in, exceptional resilience emerges in the face of life's turbulence. Fifth, an unwavering will. Mastering one's sexual urges is like taming the fire of creation. This creates an inner strength that permeates all areas of life. Sixth, and perhaps most sublime, direct access to the divine. Swami Sivananda said, Celibacy is the foundation of all spiritual experience. It is the key to liberation, the door to immortality. But it is crucial to note that none of this is automatic. Abstaining physically without understanding can even create blockages. Celibacy is not repression. Repressing desire without integrating it creates a shadow. As Carl Jung said, what you resist persists. True spiritual celibacy arises from awareness, from overcoming desire, not from denying it. It is a profound and loving decision to channel one's creative energy toward personal fulfillment. The most sacred scriptures from various traditions reinforce this power. In the Bible, Matthew 19:1 speaks of those who make themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. In 1 Corinthians 7:32, Paul states that the celibate person is concerned with the things of the Lord. In the Dhammapada, Buddha states that few reach the other shore, the state of enlightenment, and that one of the bridges to this path is celibacy. In Taoism, the secret of the golden flower teaches, when the mind is undisturbed by desire, true enlightenment arises. The Sufi mystic poet wrote, "Lust is like drinking salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become." So what can we conclude? Spiritual celibacy, practiced with awareness and reverence, does not deny human sexuality. It refines, elevates, and transforms it. It is an art of returning the creative fire to its source, of looking inward, of lighting the inner temple. True spiritual celibacy is neither a denial of life, nor a forced repression of sexuality, but a conscious choice, motivated by a deep desire for inner transformation. It involves understanding the nature of sexual energy in its purest essence and learning to redirect it toward higher goals, thus awakening the latent forces within us. In tantric traditions, sexual energy is not something to be fought or blindly surrendered to. Rather, it is revered as a powerful expression of divine force. Tantric master Abhinavagupta wisely wrote, "Whoever knows the secret of transforming sexual energy knows the secret of the universe." A simple phrase, yet one that resonates with the essence of mystical traditions throughout time. Spiritual masters from various traditions have always emphasized that true celibacy must be adopted discriminately and gradually, respecting the limits and rhythms of body and mind. Swami Vananda reminds us, do not try to kill desire by force. Understand its nature, its glory, and its hidden power. This balanced approach involves much more than just physical abstinence. It includes cleansing the body through a balanced diet and conscious breathing. It requires mental discipline through meditation, the sublimation of energy through creative activities, and above all, a vibrant connection with the sacred. When celibacy is practiced in this holistic way, it leads not to repression, but to freedom. It does not result in a denial of existence, but in a more conscious, fuller, and more sacred celebration of life. But how can we concretely transmute this powerful life energy? The answer lies in concrete techniques practiced by initiates for millennia. The first is conscious breathing. In all esoteric traditions, vital breathing is the bridge between body, mind, and soul. Techniques such as pranayama in yoga or embryonic breathing in Taoism teach how to mobilize energy through the spine, thus awakening the spiritual centers. Testicular or ovarian breathing is an ancient practice. As you inhale deeply, visualize the life force energy rising from your sexual organs to your navel. Hold your breath, and as you exhale, bring this energy back to the top of your head. This simple visualization can transform your energy. The second practice is creative visualization. Tibetan yogis teach us to see sexual energy as an intense red light at the base of the spine. This transforms each breath into a rising crystalline white light, purifying the chakras. The third key is conscious redirection. When sexual energy overflows, channel it into physical exercise, art, deep study, or service to others. The fourth practice is witnessing awareness. When thoughts and desires arise, simply observe without reacting. This detachment, fundamental to Buddhism and Advaita Vedanta, gradually dissolves the power of unconscious impulses. The fifth tool is the use of sacred mantras. Sounds like Om, Suham, or Hamsa elevate vibrations and help transmute sexual energy into spiritual light. The sixth practice consists of specific yoga postures, such as Sarvangasana, headstand, and Mula Bandha, root contraction, developed specifically to elevate and refine sexual energy. But perhaps the most powerful practice is this: The development of unconditional love and spiritual devotion. When the heart opens to universal love, energy spontaneously rises from the lower chakras to the heart, and from there to the heavens. Yet the path to celibacy is not without obstacles. The first challenge is the raw power of desire. Tantric texts say that trying to harness this energy is like riding an enraged elephant. It requires patience, courage, and method. The second obstacle lies in the conditioned mind. We live in a culture saturated with sexual stimuli. Reprogramming this mind requires constant vigilance. The third challenge is spiritual loneliness. In a world that often ridicules celibacy, it's common to feel isolated or misunderstood. The fourth danger is energetic imbalance. Improperly transmuted energy can lead to anxiety, frustration, and even psychosomatic disorders. The fifth is spiritual pride. The ego can swell as one progresses in practice. And the sixth is energetic stagnation. If misdirected, accumulated energy can turn into apathy or stress. Fortunately, esoteric traditions offer ancient strategies for overcoming these difficulties. Adopt this practice gradually. Integrate it with other disciplines. Take care of your diet, exercise, cultivate conscious friendships, and above all, practice self-compassion. It's important to remember that not everyone is called to permanent celibacy. For many, temporary celibacy can be a profoundly transformative practice. Hindu traditions, for example, speak of brahmacharya not as a lifelong vow, but rather as cycles of abstinence at key moments in life. In Taoism, phases of conscious sexual expression alternate with periods of total self-preservation following lunar and seasonal cycles. In shamanic rituals, temporary celibacy prepared one for sacred ceremonies, the conserved energy suggesting an expanded vision. Modern forms of spiritual celibacy include lunar celibacy, abstinence on full and new moons, seasonal celibacy, intensive practice for 1 month a year, periodic spiritual retreats, abstinence on holy days, and voluntary celibacy aimed at achieving specific spiritual goals. Even short periods of conscious celibacy can open previously unknown inner doors. As Patanjali taught, brahmacharya, practiced with discipline, leads to great spiritual strength and a clear vision of the future. But how can all this be applied to modern life? How can these ancient teachings be adapted to the chaos of the 20th century? The answer is clear. Never before has this wisdom been more needed. In a world overwhelmed by distractions and the trivialization of the sacred, celibacy presents itself as a luminous antidote to contemporary spiritual exhaustion. It all begins with clarity of purpose. Understand that celibacy is not an end in itself, but a means to enrich your consciousness. Then create a supportive environment, reduce your consumption of hypersexualized content, and strengthen your connections with people who respect your values. Another essential step is digital hygiene. Regular social media fasts act as a mental and emotional balm. Don't forget your body. Practices like yoga, taxis, mindful walking, and artistic pursuits help release stagnant energy and boost it. Finally, be kind to yourself. Every step forward, every step back, is part of the journey. True celibacy is a subtle alchemy, a path back to the core of our being. By integrating this wisdom into our daily lives, we awaken a power that has lain dormant within us since time immemorial and, once activated, can lead us to a life of clarity, meaning, and true union with the divine. Spiritual celibacy is not a rigid all-or-nothing practice. Even small steps toward awareness and preservation of sexual energy can lead to profound changes. Understood in its essence, celibacy does not represent a denial of life, but a powerful affirmation of the divinity within us. It is the art of transforming instinct into light, desire into devotion, passion into compassion. There is no need to live in total abstinence to feel its effects. A conscious choice, even a temporary one, is enough to align the energetic body within you. This is true inner alchemy, the elevation of vital energy to more subtle planes, where consciousness expands, where the invisible begins to guide the visible. As the ancient alchemists said, as above, so below. If this video has touched you, it may not be by chance. Perhaps you are ready to begin a new cycle, not out of obligation, but out of inner freedom. Continue on your path with an open heart. The path of awakening is silent, but it transforms everything it touches. If you've come this far, it's because something within you is crying out for more. for a purer truth, a more awakened consciousness, and a more intimate connection with the invisible, which shapes the visible. And now, I want to offer you something that will expand your consciousness even further. Prepare to take the next step. I present to you the Map of the Higher Self, a powerful ebook, the fruit of my most intense and heartfelt experiences. It brings together practices, perspectives, and mental keys that will guide you on the path to clarity, presence, and inner awakening. But that's not all. By purchasing this book, you'll gain free access to the Sacred Library, an exclusive digital collection of rare, forbidden and erased books from our history, hidden works that reveal what has remained hidden from humanity for centuries and are now within your reach. This map isn't just a book. It's a tool for transformation. If you've made it this far, it's not a coincidence. It's a sign. You're ready to elevate your perception and take control of your reality. Click the link in the pinned comment and dive into this journey of self-discovery with courage, focus, and awareness. And don't stop there. I've selected 2 essential videos that expand on everything we've covered today. Choose one and continue exploring the deepest layers of your being. Remember, truth lies not in the noise of the world, but in the silent voice of awakening consciousness.